Oh, buckle up for a tale of grit and gumption. The year is 2006, and the US Army is knee-deep in Afghanistan, setting up outposts faster than a prairie fire with a tailwind. Their goal? To team up with the Afghan Army, kick some Taliban tail, and sprinkle a little freedom here and there by rebuilding what's broken. Enter stage right, the town of Kesh, where our heroes, led by the fearless Sergeant Romesha, touch down one murky night via chopper. Captain Keing, the man in charge, rolls out the welcome wagon. The existing troops, knowing all too well the wild ride these newbies are in for, slap on some smiles and hearty handshakes. As dawn cracks, our fresh band of brothers takes a good look around and, yikes, realizes they're smack in a remote valley with "Sitting Ducks" written all over it. Hold on to your helmets, folks, it's about to get real.
Nestled among colossal peaks, a group of seasoned soldiers unpacks the perilous truth. Their base, a favorite ambush corner for enemy insurgents hidden in the mountains. The unforgiving landscape encircles them, making the base nothing short of a survival roulette. As they grapple with this grim reality, a curious scene unfolds. An Afghan soldier takes aim at a stray dog, claiming it's flea-ridden. Just as Sergeant Scusa steps in to defuse the tension, boom, an onslaught from the mountains above. In the chaos, the attackers seize their high ground advantage, raining down firepower. Our troops, quick on their feet, retaliate with valor, but, oh no, they're running out of bullets. Enter Specialist Carter, tasked with fetching more ammo. But, amid the adrenaline-fueled rush, he messes up. He brings back the wrong gear. In the heat of battle, with bullets whizzing by, that's hardly a minor slip-up. Now, that's what you call adding fuel to the fire.
In a whirl of chaos, just when things looked dire, orders thundered for a rocket-propelled grenade to come into play. Boom! The enemy was blasted away, marking an explosive end to the fierce clash, at least for now. Meanwhile, Sergeant Gallegos isn't just fuming, he's on the brink. He confronts Soldier Younger, accusing him of reckless action that almost sent him to the great beyond, and boy, did he make a promise of peril if Younger ever gets that wild with his aim again. In the nick of time, Carter shows up. Oh, but wait, he's a touch too late. With the ammo everyone had already forgotten they needed. Sergeant Larson chimes in, giving Carter a quick tutorial on the essence of focus during battle theatrics. And just when you thought the drama had peaked, we find Soldier Jacobs in a heart-wrenching state, his bravery written all over his grievously injured face. Thanks to some swift medical moves, he's whisked off to surgery and, hold your breath, survives. Later that evening, with everyone a tad shaken but standing, they gather around for a debrief. Leader at the helm, it's a poignant reminder of their gritty reality.
In a gripping narrative twist, our hero, Keing, paints a raw picture of their base. Yes, it's pretty much a sitting duck for enemy attacks. But hang tight, because despite these hair-raising odds, our soldiers are nailing their duties with grit and grace. Now, Keing, playing part diplomat, part strategist, suggests winning over the local crowd. You know, a bit of trust, a dash of goodwill, and voila. Maybe even scout some local young guns to join the fray. And here's the kicker, Keing spills the beans about an upcoming powwow with the local elders. The game plan? Flash some cash to get the locals on their side. Though he suspects these elders might show up with some of the very youngsters stirring up trouble, Keing's vibe is unshakably optimistic. He rallies the troops, all gung-ho about overcoming the odds together. Cut to the big day. As they march to the meeting, Keing, in a bold move, leaves his weapon behind, stepping into the lion's den unarmed. His men are jittery about the armed Afghan youth mingling inside, but Keing? He just waves off their concerns with a swagger only he can pull off, ready to charm and disarm with nothing but his wit and bravado.
Alright, picture this. Captain Keing, with a keen eye for strategy, invites a couple of his finest to join him for a crucial chat. Their daunting task? To pluck terrorists from the locals without causing a stir. Keing, ever the diplomat, pitches a deal swifter than a market trader, financial aid for vital intel. And just like that, young and old Afghans are handing over their weaponry. A solid win for our boys. Cut to the next morning. The sun's out, guns are down, and our soldiers are soaking up some rays, swapping jokes like they're at a comedy club. But then, out of the blue, boom, enemy forces storm in. It's chaos, but our heroes fight back with the might of a blockbuster finale, making sure every comrade is safe. No rest for the weary, though. Just as the dust settles, Keing's phone rings. It's the big boss, and he's got orders. Move that military truck to Nar district, ASAP. Despite the danger lurking in those narrow roads, hesitation lasts but a moment. Duty calls, and they're on it, ready to rumble through whatever comes next. Despite the team's hesitations about navigating the mountain with such a hefty rig, Keating is all in. Orders are orders. So, he bravely takes the wheel of the tactical truck, with Romesha and Carter hopping in for the rocky ride. while 2 armored escorts tag along for some thrilling mountain road antics. Back at base, Lieutenant Bunder takes the reins under King's command. As dusk turns to dark, the convoys still bumping along towards their destination, the narrow, treacherous paths putting their driving skills to the test. Just when the tension couldn't get any thicker, a warning buzzes through, danger ahead. Romesha and Carter disembark to play mountain scouts. What epic danger awaits them? None other than a perilous dead chicken right in the middle of their path. With a signal back to the convoy, they resume their Jiangxi journey, armored vehicle leading the charge, followed closely by King's command squad. In a shocking turn of events, the tactical truck flips wildly on the road before plunging off a cliff and ending in a fiery explosion, tragically claiming Captain King's life. The next day, in a poignant ceremony, the soldiers pay homage to their fallen leader, renaming their base combat outpost King, or Cop King, in his honor. Amidst the sorrow, they gear up to welcome the new boss, Captain Romesha, who, along with Romesha, narrowly escapes an ambush on their tour of the base. Luckily, they scrap through with only a few scratches. Post-attack, Alice sends out a patrol to sniff around the mountainous terrains for the elusive attackers, but it's like finding a needle in a haystack. No signs of the terrorists. Perched on a ridge, Romesha shares a masterclass on tactical offensives, pinpointing key outpost vulnerabilities and assets. Talk about knowing your enemy.
Alright, picture this, the day kicks off with our brave soldiers sizing up potential hotspots for an attack. As they wrap their heads around the odds of a large-scale assault, the plot thickens. Post-training, enter Sergeant Kirk, eagle-eyed and alert. He spots a local Afghan man, camera in hand, sneakily snapping photos of the base. Drama unfolds. The man tries to make a break for it but, no dice, the soldiers nab him. Under questioning, the man spills the beans. Local elders paid him for the photos. Cue the suspense music. Now, here's where it gets juicy. Our hero, Captain Illuz, calls a powwow with the elders. He plays it cool, promising no harm to the young shutterbug but keeps him under wraps for further probing. But wait, an elder throws a curveball, accusing them of withholding promised financial support. Is there a conspiracy afoot? Illuz, smooth as ever, puts the funds on ice, keeping the drama alive and the stakes high. Will the funds cause more strife, or will peace prevail? Stay tuned. Money will only be provided once the locals demonstrate their commitment to cooperating with the US Army against terrorist threats. Later on the base's Afghan interpreter Mohammed approaches the US soldiers with crucial information about the imminent attack. He warns them that enemy forces are planning a fierce large-scale assault on their base. Unfortunately, the soldiers do not take his warning seriously and dismiss his information. The next day, the soldiers set out on a patrol towards the mountains. They eventually reach a bridge where Kirk and Carter are teamed up to proceed first. Illuz and Younger follow closely behind, but suddenly a bomb explodes near them. The blast kills Captain Illuz instantly, while Younger is left deeply traumatized by the incident. Later that night, Romesha finds Younger trembling in fear and speaking to himself in distress, concerned for his. Well, folks, buckle up because Romesha just turned into a hero. Approaching cautiously, he manages to disarm a distressed Younger, preventing any mishaps. Not just a quick thinker, Romesha's also quick on the dial, arranging a medic chopper for an urgent liftoff with Younger and Illuz's body. Fast forward to the next scene, enter Captain Broward, the new boss in town. Straight out of the stern commander's handbook, he lays down the law and pumps up the team to intensify their battle against the bad guys. Morning breaks and there's a whiff of mystery. A murder investigation unfolds. But, oh wait, what's this? An ID card at the crime scene. The plot thickens, but Broward plays cool, passing the hot potato to an official military team. The troops are buzzing, worried the suspect might do a runner before the cavalry arrives. Despite their protests, Broward remains unshakable, choosing to keep his hands off the case. Drama, suspense, and a touch of military order. What more could you ask for?
Right when things seem calm, out of nowhere, enemy forces decide to crash the party at the military base. Without missing a beat, our soldiers sprang into action. Talk about not even having a minute to catch their breath. Enter Romesha, the daring one, who didn't even pause to ask for a green light before launching missiles that wiped out the terrorist threat in a blink. Post-battle, Captain Broward was not all cheers and high fives. Nope, he laid into Romesha for taking the initiative. Talk about not seeing the forest for the trees, right? And just when the soldiers thought they could catch a break, Broward drops another bomb, figuratively this time, announcing extended deployments and, oh, a slight bump in their paychecks. So there's that silver lining. Despite the mixed feelings swirling around, the troops kept their groans to themselves. Not long after, Carter finds Lieutenant Bunman's ear, unleashing his frustration about Broward's less than stellar leadership. And honestly, can you blame him?
In the dead of night, as the soldiers held their breath, a mischievous dance of shadows played upon the mountains. And then, boom, a missile lit up the sky, but lucky for them, it was all bark and no bite. As dawn broke, the atmosphere thickened when the locals marched in, presenting a lifeless girl, claiming the Americans were to blame. But one eagle-eyed soldier played detective and sniffed out the truth. The girl's demise predated their accusations. Meanwhile, a sudden scuffle unfolded as a dog, perhaps mistaking an Afghan for a bone, lunged. The situation was as sticky as a summer in Georgia until Captain Broward, in a moment of questionable pet ownership, ended the canine chaos with a single shot. Phew, talk about a rough day at the office. Everyone shocked. He even offers them financial compensation and allows them to leave peacefully. Following this, the soldiers are in their quarters when Broward enters and informs them that he will be stepping down from his command. He informs them that their mission will conclude in 2 weeks. The soldiers then collectively agreed to keep this information among themselves. Their main focus now becomes staying alive without a leader and completing their mission until the end. Several days later, an Afghan soldier frantically rushes towards the American troops. He warns them that Afghan terrorists are preparing to launch an assault on the military base. The soldiers initially dismiss his warning but soon find themselves surrounded by hundreds of armed men emerging from the mountains. Before long, they launch a violent ambush on the military base, catching the soldiers off guard. However, they gather their courage and defend themselves and the base while also attending to the wounded among their ranks. The attack continues relentlessly until the American soldiers run out of their ammunition. The soldiers are now left in a desperate and dangerous situation as they struggle to maintain their defenses. Galagos urgently contacts Romesha for more ammo. Upon receiving the distress call, Romesha and the team of soldiers move to rescue their comrades. However, enemy forces continue to fire guns and explosives relentlessly. As a result, the soldiers are unable to reach their stranded comrades and are ultimately forced to retreat. Shortly afterward, Romesha detects several terrorists attempting to breach the military base. He swiftly eliminates them and advises Bandar to devise a new strategy to combat the ongoing attack. Meanwhile, some soldiers are killed in action while others sustain injuries and are dragged into the base for medical treatment. In the meantime, other soldiers take cover inside an armored military. In the thick of a heart-pounding firefight, our heroes found themselves outnumbered and outgunned. Just when their vehicle became their temporary safe haven, the action really kicked off. In one heart-stopping moment, amidst the gunfire, Carter spotted his buddy Mace, down and out. Without missing a beat, he dashed out under a hail of bullets, scooped up Mace, and hauled him back to the safety of their armored chariot. Meanwhile, Romesha was in his element, dodging bullets and firing back. Talk about an action movie hero. Just as things were looking grim, whoosh, in swooped air support, dropping bombs like fiery rain on the baddies. Talk about a game changer. Morale skyrocketed, literally. With renewed vigor and a dash of daring, some soldiers sprang into a counterattack. Others, heroes in their own right, stayed behind to tend to the wounded. At the close of this epic clash, only a handful survived, but what a tale they had to tell.